How did your battalion's competitive culture turn soldiers against each other? Our new battalion commander, Colonel Hargrove, arrived with big ideas about motivation. First week, he installed this massive ranking board in the company area. Every soldier's name listed with their PT scores, weapons qualifications, training achievements, updated weekly. Top performers got privileges, extra leave days, first choice of assignments, better duty stations. Bottom 10% got extra training and remedial PT. At first it worked. Everyone pushed harder. PT scores went up across the board. Qualification rates improved. Hargrove loved showing visiting brass our numbers, but something started shifting around month 3. Little things at first. Soldiers stopped helping each other study for promotion boards. The open sharing of training tips dried up. Everyone became protective of their edge. I noticed it with my workout partner, Curtis Vega. We'd been running together for 2 years. Suddenly he's making excuses, training alone. Found out later he thought I was getting too close to his PT score ranking. Then equipment started disappearing before qualification days. Someone's rifle cleaning kit would vanish right before inspection. Study guides would go missing from the day room. Nobody could prove anything, but the timing was suspicious. The real problem was this specialist named Brendan Sawyer. Kid was obsessed with being number 1 on that board. Top ranked for 8 straight weeks. He treated it like his personal trophy. My buddy Wade Fletcher was number 2, only 3 points behind Brendan. Wade was a solid soldier, helped everyone, never caused problems, but that ranking gap was eating at him. Week 9, Wade finally passed Brendan by 2 points after crushing a new PT test. I watched Brendan stare at that board for 10 minutes, jaw clenched, face red. Didn't say a word to anyone all day. 3 days later, Wade failed his vehicle inspection. His Humvee had critical safety violations, missing bolts, damaged brake lines, contaminated fluids. Wade swore everything was perfect the night before. Investigation found nothing. Wade got docked points for the failure. Brendan moved back to number 1, but I'd been watching. Saw Brendan leaving the motor pool late that night before Wade's inspection. When I mentioned it to Wade, he just shook his head. Can't prove anything. Just makes me look like a sore loser. The sabotage got worse. Someone's dress uniform got bleach stains before a formal inspection. Another soldier's weapons qualification paperwork mysteriously disappeared, forcing him to requalify and losing a week on the board. Guys stopped trusting each other. Soldiers who'd been friends for years weren't speaking. The company split into factions, everyone protecting their ranking, suspicious of everyone else. Morale tanked. Our training performance started dropping despite everyone working harder. We were so focused on individual numbers that actual teamwork fell apart. During a field exercise, 2 fire teams refused to coordinate properly because they were from rival ranking groups. Nearly got people hurt during a live fire drill. That's when Sergeant First Class Donovan Pierce, our senior NCO, had enough. He'd been watching this disaster unfold, trying to work within the system. But after the near miss in training, he went straight to Colonel Hargrove. Sir, respectfully, your ranking board is destroying this unit. Hargrove defended it, pointed to individual performance metrics that looked great on paper. Pierce asked him to look at unit cohesion metrics, incident reports, and morale surveys. The numbers told a different story. Disciplinary issues up 40%. Unit cohesion scores at all-time lows. Soldiers requesting transfers at 3 times the normal rate. Hargrove still wasn't convinced until the night Wade's gear got sabotaged again. This time during a field exercise with live ammunition. Someone had tampered with his radio batteries right before a critical mission. Wade couldn't communicate with his squad during a training scenario. Nearly got separated from the unit in hostile territory. Could have been a real tragedy if it wasn't an exercise. Security footage from the supply tent caught Brendan on camera messing with Wade's equipment. Military police got involved. Full investigation launched. Brendan confessed to everything. The motor pool sabotage, the missing paperwork, the bleached uniform, all of it. He'd been so obsessed with staying number 1 that he'd been systematically sabotaging his competition for 2 months. Court-martial proceedings started. Brendan was facing serious charges. Destruction of government property, endangering soldiers, conduct unbecoming. But here's the twist. Turned out Brendan wasn't alone. Investigation uncovered 11 other soldiers doing similar stuff. Not organized, just individually sabotaging each other because the ranking system had turned everyone paranoid and desperate. Colonel Hargrove took down that ranking board the next morning, called a battalion formation, and gave the most humble speech I've ever heard from a senior officer. I created a system that rewarded individual achievement while destroying the one thing that actually matters in the military, trust between soldiers. That board is gone. We're rebuilding this unit the right way. Brendan got a bad conduct discharge and 6 months in military prison. The other saboteurs got Article 15 punishments and reduced rank. Wade testified at the court-martial, actually defended some of them, said the system had made good soldiers do terrible things. 3 years later, I'm still in that battalion. We kept the high training standards but ditched individual rankings. Our unit performance is actually better now than it was during the ranking board era. And Wade, he's a staff sergeant now, running the NCO leadership course. Teaches a whole class about toxic competition and the importance of building team culture. Uses that ranking board disaster as his primary case study. Colonel Hargrove retired 2 years ago. Last thing he did was write a doctrine paper about competitive culture in military units. It's now required reading at the War College. He titled it, How I Nearly Destroyed a Battalion with Good Intentions.